most of the opponents. But with those two guys firing the way they were, we saw Dreamer going completely off tap last game, and he was one of the driving forces, even though the whole team was playing well. Dreamer was doing a lot of the heavy lifting early in those rounds, and we saw Victor doing it yesterday. So as long as those guys keep these teams up and going and they're impacting rounds a lot of the time, eFrag are going to look great. eFrag are going to look great.
We're now going into the knife round here on the second map, Mirage. Obviously, we said that eFrag, for their championship aspirations here, qualifying for the Counterpit Land Finals, the $80,000 prize purse in Split, Croatia, in the middle of March, they must win this map. It's as simple as that for these guys, and they recognise what's on the line. The stakes couldn't be higher for these guys, so they're coming in with their full focus, full attention, but they'll have to make it work on the terrorist side, which is where they had their success on Cache, mind you, so perhaps that's not such a bad thing for those guys.
Yeah, but this is a completely different animal, this game of Mirage we're looking at here, where Freeze can impact the game so much more from that middle position with the AWP. Cache is a very tricky map with a lot of cut-off choke points where they can get isolated and cut off from the rest of the team, but Mirage is a very fluid AWPing map, lots of options, lots of variations, so we'll see if Freeze can mix it up. Here as SK move into the CT pistol once again, eFrag. Looks as though they're just content with this style they've adopted against SK, where they're defensive but purposeful nonetheless. They're holding back, waiting for these pushes, but ready at the drop of a hat to coordinate into a team-based hit, and Magic Boy has been instantly tagged down to 15 HP, so good opening gun battle there for eFrag coming out their way, and that speaks to the confidence levels of the players picking and getting their pre-firing going and getting that anticipation at its highest possible level now as we see eFrag move back towards its A bomb. So it looks to be a mid and A split as two players come out. Cat and Freeze is going to pick one up. He doesn't spot the second player, so this could be danger time. He does get around the corner quickly enough that he won't be taken down, but it will be Dreamer coming up the T ramp and he'll get one spotted out, but it'll be Freeze picking up a double there. Great flick down onto Spy Leader, but there's a lot of damage here on the SK side of things. There's a lot of health being taken away. Dreamer and Bubble in a 2 versus 1 now. It's just Moddy left over. He's on 20 points of health, but he does have the bomb down. So crucial here for Moddy. Can he make this work for SK? Can he put his team in a winning position? You can see the bomb is going to go back to the sandwich area before making its way back to the bomb boxes to plant it. They've spotted out Moddy, and this should be almost impossible for the Swedish player to win, but he's got one. Can he get the second one? Brilliant play here from Moddy. Ever so patient, ever so crisp, ever so clean, but he needs to find this second kill. Can he do it? Oh my goodness, he's down to just 5 points of health, but he can still manage a headshot here if he can swing around the boxes. He's spraying his USP. This is so intense. Moddy getting it done. He makes it work. He picks up the kit. 2 versus 1 for Moddy. That is the round we've been waiting for. Brilliant play by the Swede. He picks up the pistol round for SK, and that could be the difference between a very, very long half for SK and projecting them into greatness on their CT half.
Massive individual play there though, 1 on 2. I mean, he was trapped in the ticket box. I think eFrag almost suspecting him to be there. They certainly were giving that area of the map a lot of attention and a lot of respect before his position was known. But what can you say other than the fact that Moddy just went absolutely ballistic? 2 fantastic headshots there. I think perhaps Dreamer giving him a little bit too much respect and playing a little bit too cautiously in that 1v1. You saw that he had a lot of HP to play with, but obviously he wasn't to know that. In the end, that individual piece of brilliance from the Swedish veteran, known aim star, able to come up with the goods there, and we do now see having a little bit more difficulty with the M4A1 else than he did with the pistol there, eventually getting that frag onto Spy Leader. The terrorists are on a 4 spy here, Pete.
Yeah, they've force-bought this one. Victor with that AK, but Dreamer's going to make his way into B with that Tech 9. He will spot out one, and unfortunately for himself, Magic just closed down the angle just in time to avoid getting taken down. And now Pimp will make the rotation over before Magic Boy shores up his position and gets the bomb down. It'll be just Victor left with that AK. And it's a long time to save, but he should probably look towards that end as Pimp spots him out at mid, so his position is being known, and he will get taken down there by Pimp. Great work there, and SK starting a lot better on this side.
Yeah, I don't actually like the AK buy these days. I think that was certainly the meta in Counter-Strike 1.6 when the rifles were so OP comparatively to the pistols that it was a worthwhile investment to get 1, potentially 2 AKs if you could afford it into the hands of your players on that terror side force buy. But these days, with the strength of the pistols and the utility grenades, I think it's much more common and, in my opinion at least, a much more preferred strategy to be opting for the lesser equipment or the lesser weaponry to get that supporting utility. As it was, Victor unable to make it work, and his teammates in a similar sort of situation. They're now forced by again, though, Pete. I don't understand this. This was the trap
This
yesterday, was it not?
this is exactly the problem with eFrag yesterday on Dust 2. I mean,
Yeah.
they didn't. Yesterday was a little bit different in the sense that they were already ahead so far and they started force buying into oblivion. But the last 2 rounds did not make sense for me at all. As Spy Leader does pick up one, and Dreamer will make this work, taking down Pim. So here we are about to eat our words about a force buy once again. But I still don't believe that it was the correct players. Bubble will take down Magic Boy, and now it's a 3 versus 2 with the bomb going down in B. So a very winnable round here for eFrag, which is surprising given the level of notice and preparation SK should have had to be in position to win this round. That's a good grenade going to come out there, but it doesn't quite get far enough. It's clipped to the edge of the box. Now it's a 2 versus 3 for Modi and Freeze, 2 of the better players to have alive in this situation. But Modi won't even get out the window. Bubble spots him out and takes him down. So they will go down SK to a force buy. But I guess that is that's the gift and the curse of the force buy. It can work for you, or it can be your downfall.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to be as, I guess, impartial, given what we saw and the way the round panned out. I'm going to go out on a limb there. I think we both agree that that was actually a horrible decision, despite the outcome for eFrag and then winning the round. That was a horrible decision to force buy in that round. If we look at the scoreboard, look at that second round, you can see that all 5 members of SK survived that round. There is no reason for eFrag to invest everything they have, every last cent into that third round. The only reason you normally do so is to try and break the bank of the enemy team, but SK had plenty of money to play with. A horrible decision. And this is sort of worst case for them, because given the fact that it works now, it almost reinforces the fact that it was a right decision for them. And I think that's a horrible downward spiral to sometimes get into.
Yeah, look, we need to give credit where credit's due, though. They did make it work with great teamwork and flashes, able to get their way into short. I think it was more or less SK letting the front door wide open, so to speak, and letting them into that round. But nonetheless, you can't take away the point from the scoreboard, regardless of how it was won. And certainly eFrag posting that one there really with a good strategy from their force buy. And I guess that's the difference as we look at this gun round, where SK was force buying a lot on the previous map when they were down. They had no purpose. At least eFrag, they had a very definite strategy as to what they wanted to achieve on their force buy, getting up short. But nevertheless, SK will break back down into this gun round. Victor will try and make his way up short. It looks to be a B split here with the bomb heading into the B halls.
Yeah, they've done a good job actually of isolating those CTs in mid, using those smokes very effectively. Spy Leader in particular has actually moved really far up the mid-con here, whilst his teammate in the form of Bubble has gone down. Spy Leader's got such an advanced position there in jungle and makes his presence known, but actually doesn't quite convert that frag, so couldn't quite get the job done. Ailian punishes him. Frisk follows shortly after on the Victor. What looked like a really promising start there quickly unfolded in dramatic fashion there. eFrag not able to get the job done. They had fantastic positioning. SK had the superior aim in that instance and won the round.
Yeah, just an overplay there by eFrag, not allowing the B presence to come out slightly before the A players picked. They were in great positions. I think if the B pressure had to come on before the A players stepped out, there would have been people in bad positions for SK rotating towards that B bomb site and would have opened up the frags a little bit more for eFrag.
Yeah, I think the difficulty of them was the fact that they had the bomb in the B halls though. So I think the intent was always to go towards B, but the A players couldn't quite get it done. As it is, Ailian doing a good job there, getting the first 2 frags. Again, having success at A, and a sick frag there from Bubble, but not enough to really get his team back into this round just yet. They still trail 3-4 at this point.
Yeah, and Freeze picking up a nice kill onto Bubble there as well, and NKL will take down Magic Boy, and this is another force round for eFrag going right, I guess. They should be able to get the bomb down in B. As you can see, the bomb hightailing through the B halls and trying to get there, but he should be met by one of the CTs coming behind him in the B halls, and he's coming up that staircase. So it's going to be a plan for the Ts and decent post-plan positions, but they need to be aware of where the CTs can be as Modi tags down Dreamer to very low, and NKL will have a lot of the responsibility put on his broad shoulders for this round, but it won't be anything great. Ailian picks up a quad for that round, and that is the pitfall of that previous win by eFrag.
It feels as though, correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels as though that was almost the first round in which we'd really singled out Ailian for doing something, I guess, contributing in a big way towards his team's success. He had a really quiet first map from my part, so, yep. I mean, credit where it's due. He is the in-game leader for the team, and they are currently leading 4-1. I think that also takes away something from your fragging potential, but important for these guys that Ailian does step up.
I cannot for the life of me understand how eFrag are still buying. This is clearly a strategy that they think works and they're dedicated to, which in itself is admirable. They're dedicating themselves to a style, but they've got one smoke on Mirage to try and make a bomb site hit work. One single smoke and that they've already used, and one flashbang compared to the full arsenal of grenades, flashes, smokes, kits, armor, you name it, SK's got it. And I just don't know how they expect to continuously compete if they're going to keep shortchanging themselves with Galils and CZs. It doesn't make much sense to me.
Especially if they cast their mind back to the success that they did have on the previous map and on previous nights when they do fully invest. And as it is, Victor trying to make it work again, gets a headshot with the Galil, perhaps going to find a way to win another round off the back of this force buy. But you can see Frisk will now position himself with that AWP to try and get the drop onto Bubble, spots out a big toe, takes him down there. All of a sudden, SK in a strong position again and Efraid up against it.
Oh, wouldn't it be nice to have a smoke to get rid of that CT spawn and the jungle AWPer? Wouldn't it just be lovely to get this information and be able to do something with it? It would definitely help Efrag as they're completely stuck in no man's land in A, just having to force their way in via brute headshots as NKL gets spotted out, and he will get taken down by Freeze due to that lack of coverage. And you can see it's going to be Victor and his teammate, but once again, someone steps from jungle and takes him down. Oh, nice frag there by Dream onto Freeze. So it's a 2 versus 1, but Dream are just on 9 points of health, and he'll have to run in front of the Molotov. He gets the first one, but Pimp there in position, and he will take one down, but also run around and get that AWP for his teammate Free, so that will stay alive for SK. And you only, I mean, it's a no-brainer. That one could have gone very differently for Efragger. They had a few more grenades on hand.
We joke about it though in comical fashion, but it honestly doesn't make much sense at all from a logical perspective as to why they keep putting themselves in this position. The parallel I draw, for those who might remember back in Counter-Strike 1.6 days, is probably with WNV, Wisdom Nerve Victory, the Chinese team. They actually became famous or infamous in the scene for continually force buying. They were the ones to really invent that style of play, trying to make ends meet with Jalils and in those days Deedles and whatnot. In this case, it's Efrag.
Yeah, I do agree, but the problem is the AK is now 2,700 as opposed to 2,500, and also there's Molotovs you need to really be competitive, so there's an extra element of money required, and now they've force bought again with Tech 9s and Molotovs, so this is going to be very strange as Ailian picks up a triple, picks up a quad, could pick up a team down, and I mean...
I think that says enough, mate. I think that says enough. I'm with you at the moment. It makes no sense to me at all. I have no idea. For a team, especially strange for me given that this team has been together for so long, I find it mind-boggling to struggle to understand some of the decisions that they're making, because they're a team that obviously been through a lot of highs, a lot of lows, and certainly have a great understanding of the game, but at the moment it's just really a mind-boggling situation. Again, they force, whilst they do have 5 rifles, they're very light on utility, despite they're just charging through the smoke, catching body off guard, who's actually trying to spam it, and whilst it might work for them again, this isn't something that you can rely on round after round after round, and we've seen that from Efrag so far in the half. Pimp eventually takes down Spy Leader, but he's certainly done more than his fair share this round, as it has opened up that A bomb site. The bomb will get planted here. Efrag, 4 members to 3.
4 members to 3, but there's a smoke in jungle to stop them getting picked off, which is crucially what we're talking about. And Bubble picks up a kill there onto Pimp. So this is a good round here coming out for Efrag. But I guess the difference for me in this round, we're not talking about a force round where you can get 4 AKs, a Galil, and some utility. We're not talking about these rounds as the problem for Efrag. These are fine. These are perfectly within the realm of acceptable strategy and workable utility, where they have a lot of guns on hand, they have a lot of rifles, and a lot of resources to make it work, but their money is sort of still on the fritz. Those other rounds, they had to choose between rifles and grenades, not both, and they just haven't been able to make them work. So in this sense, you can compare the different styles of force buys and say one can be effective for them and one can't. And as an Efrag core, if you're Spy Leader, you need to be able to know the difference between, you know, the utility and what you've actually got to work with and why the rounds are working. So for me, it was just a completely different kettle of fish that round for Efrag, even though they made it work. And the problem is, if they lose this round, do they then force buy again?
I think we already know the answers to that question, but I think from an SK perspective, we can say they have invested into this round. I like the fact that Freeze does still have that AWP in hand. It's definitely, I mean, his strongest suit. We've seen some fantastic stuff so far in the counterpit season. Actually, Freeze playing mid from that mid connector at the moment. It's very much an A-centric setup here from the CTs with 3 members in A plus Freeze in mid-con. It's a lot of responsibility on here on Magisboy, and from a terrorist perspective, they haven't really done much so far in the round. We saw similar stuff from them on Cache, where they were almost waiting for that CT aggression, but there's no reason for them to expect that so far in Mirage, certainly from what we've seen from Team SK, but it looks as though an A split is coming in here, Pete. A lot of pressure on Freeze.
A lot of pressure on Freeze, but he'll drop a nice smoke down there to just separate himself. And Molotov has come out of halls, and Pimp will find a kill before he gets torched to death. And now the players from E-Frag will come up the A ramp and try and get something done as Victor gets chunked down there. The bomb's still coming up the A ramp, but it will be Dreamer picking up that kill on a silly. I'm not sure what he was doing walking around that corner so slowly, but Modi picking up a double here from the fireboxes, and now Victor's chunked down and he's going to find his way into the window room. Can he find this kill? He's made himself aware and he does pick up the spray headshot. That's a bit of luck there for me for Victor. I mean, also brilliant spray control, I guess. Recoil control playing a huge factor in that, but he essentially was missing and then just got a bit of a lucky headshot there before the player was able to turn around. Nevertheless, we see the power of E-Frag with 5 rifles and a legitimate buy, as opposed to the force buying tendencies.
You're quite strong when they've got 5 rifles. Quite a good, formidable team.
It's not even explainable. I'm not sure what the strategy is, but they need to work on their money control.
We do see that they've opted for a similar setup here, so it looks as though E-Frag, just like they started off on Cache, opted to start out with that passive style of play, and at the moment, it means that they've got Dreamer in the B halls. He is just chilling in the kitchen, making a Vegemite sandwich for himself, and actually spots out Magisboy there at the van, jumping up and down, who himself was actually seeking some sort of information. Crucially, the telltale factor for me is the fact that the bomb has been left in the middle of T-spawn, thus indicating that there is no intent just yet to move quickly towards the side. And you can see the difference here in the CT setup. They've actually got 2 members at B this time, and Freeze in the middle window, so opting to try and stack towards that B side of this map in form of Mirage, a little bit more than previous map, previous round.
The window smoke there is missed, so they E-Frag might be exposed here by Freeze AWPing, and you can see that he does get a shot off because that window smoke just bounced down in front and didn't provide the coverage it should have. And now you can see a silly on there in great positioning on the side of the smoke. Oh, just manipulating around that one. He should be able to find a second one here, but he's turned around because the action's coming onto A, but he's well aware of the push. Great frag there on Spy Leader, and he'll actually triple up here, possibly even quad up for a Cillion. So great stuff there coming out from the SK player. Magic Boy chimes in with one. Pimple get the last one. It will be another round to SK. And let's have a look at the money situation for E-Frag. Not that it matters, because no matter what they have, they'll be buying up. They should get around the 4-5 mark, you should think, after the bombs defuse. There we go. 4-9, 4-7, 3-5, and 8-6. So NK will be able to drop Spy Leader a rifle there. They should be on a full buy round, but time will only tell if they're able to win this one, because if they don't, we're looking at another force buy. Potentially. Not sure. Not sure.
At the moment, SK leading 7-3. I think they've still got to be happy, despite the fact that it has probably felt like a tussle. A lot of close rounds. I mean, you look at the history of those rounds, you can see actually 4 of the 7 had come by a defuse. So E-Frag able to get the bomb down on many of occasions, but SK, by virtue of some good retakes and whatnot, they've still found a way to win the round. So I think that that's still got to be quite content with the way things are sitting at the moment, despite the fact that it has been quite close. Freeze here in the mid connector. Again, mixing up his all playing tags with a fantastic shot there onto Dreamer through the wall, actually doing enough to take the man down. So the danger man in the form of Dreamer has been taken down. Sweet dreams. Ailian there does a good job of rotating to help Freeze and peering over the smoke. Actually, not able to get the job done onto Spy Leader. Perhaps that could be costly later in the round, or even immediately so, as he ultimately goes down at the hands of a holy hand grenade. Spy Leader doing a good job there of squaring the ledger. You can see that E-Frag making the way towards the B side. Magisboy at the back hasn't seen much action so far on this map. At the bottom of the scoreboard, but potentially this round could be his opportunity. Pimp doing a good job there of cutting down the second angle as that member in short has getting taken down, and again chimes in with a second as Magisboy gets one of his own. So great shutdown from SK. Magisboy shining under the spotlight as they finally head towards the B side, and all left up to Spy Leader in this instance. But with the bomb down in B and Spy Leader in A, I think it's... Well, Moddy's actually, I'm not sure if he recognises the fact they've just danced around the box. So that's quite curious to me. Maybe Moddy will look at CT.
They haven't seen each other. They haven't seen each other at all. And
that's
this is going to come as quite a shock, as actually Spy Leader's just opting to save this gun. So he's not going to go for any additional frags here. He's just going to bide his time, save that AK, and they shouldn't. SK should have no reason to think that he's in CT spawn, so he'll be nice and safe there, saving his gun. The pauses come out. I'm pretty sure that this is tactical here from eFrag. I don't see any disconnections or any lag issues, so we're probably looking at a tactical timeout here. Should get confirmation from the players.
Yeah, definitely a tactical timeout here, I think, from eFrag. I think it's probably important to be quite clear and contextualise what we're saying at the moment. It might sound as though we're being quite harsh on eFrag, particularly with regards to money management, but I think by virtue of the fact that we can sit here on the first map on Cache and give them so much credit for their fantastic play and teamwork and understanding of the pace of the game and really exploiting that against SK, I think by that same fact you have to be quite realistic here in terms of what we're seeing and the fact that they're that over tendency of those guys to invest onto those force buys and try and make ends meet when really, I think you'd say realistically, it would be a tough ask. And again, you can see off the back of this pause, Spiley to save that AK, and that's been enough of a trigger for his teammates to fully invest with pistols, armor, just a smoke or two for the lucky few. Bubble has a Galil. Now, I mean, even in this case, Pete, throw out the scenario where you've got 2 rifles. Surely you give the 2 rifles to Dreamer and Victor, the strongest 2 players in the team. They haven't even done that. So at the moment, eFrag are their own worst enemy. They're moving towards the A side, and forget what I said, Spiley's just on a frag, I'm done.
Spy Leader's opened up nicely, but he will also get a headshot onto a Ailian through the box. That was filth. But Pimp is going to find 1, possibly find 2. He doesn't. Dreamer takes him down, but not before an HP deficit goes the way of Magisk. He will take him down. Freeze makes his way into mid-con and will spot one out there. Oh, he's a bit late on the uptake, and Spy Leader will take full advantage of that one, getting his 3rd for the round, and he will plant the bomb nonetheless and turn this into a 2 versus 1 for Magic's boy. That grenade doesn't hit, and Spy Leader gets into a great post-plant position. He'll jump around back to mid-con and probably pick up Freeze's AWP as well, just for his troubles. But Victor is going to just sit by idly here and wait for the defuse sounds to come in. Magic Boy's sort of aware of the movements of the 2 players as well, so he's spotted one out and will go for the defuse. Victor hears that defuse come in, steps out, pops a couple of bullets off, grabs the frag, picks up an AK. That one works for Spy Leader, and he's actually been, even though he's the in-game leader, he's been fantastic at getting out that A bomb site and actually picking up the opening kill a few times. I think it's 3 out of the 4 rounds that they've won has been Spy Leader running out on the A bomb site and getting it done. So he's taken a lot of responsibility on his shoulders as the in-game leader to try and make that work and lead by example. But it's still going to be SK with an AWP, 3 rifles, and a CZ on a Ailian here, and a heavy investment in the B side of things for eFrag.
Yeah, this is something we haven't seen from them so far in this match. I mean, we're now on the 13th round and they're mixing up their T-side play. It's actually 4 members committing heavily to B, and as the smokes and flashes go running over, it's really allowed Victor to get safe passage into the side, at least until Pimp rotates on a dime and does take him down from the short area. But just follows onto Spy Leader, and despite the fact that Bubble has got that frag, that rotation now will come in back towards that A side. eFrag scrambling to try and get into a bomb site. They didn't have success at B, but at least they managed to get the bomb down in A. Molly gives away his position there, and all of a sudden, Bubble forced with potentially trying to find a safer post-plant position for himself.
Yeah, Freeze is going to have the look in here on the player pushing window room. Good patience there, shown by Freeze the AWPer, and now it should be a pretty simple matter of smoking off that bomb and defusing. But Magic Boy misses the smoke grenade and actually picks up the headshot. So if you're going to pick one to miss, I would definitely pick missing the smoke grenade and landing the headshot in that order. So that's fine. He picks up the round. SK move on to 9-4. And the question for me is, have eFrag done enough with their T side? They've got 4 rounds. They're an extremely good CT side. We know this to be the case. You've said multiple times that it's been the problem with their T side. But they've already got 4. If they can get 1 more round, I feel as though they can still be favoured to win this map. But at the moment, it hangs in the balance as they once again have a Galil and a Tech 9 in play. So this isn't that odd given the scoreline in this context of the game. It was just those earlier ones we found a bit odd to force up, especially given their start. But SK have done a great job of shutting down eFrag the majority of the time, winning those 9 rounds and putting themselves in a position to win this one as well with that limited buy.
You talked about is it enough? For me, it's almost, I wouldn't even put a round on it. For me, I think E-Frade can win from this point out if they start making the right decisions and start doing some, I guess, sound strategy. But we've really seen them taking some really strange gambles, and as a result, they find themselves down on the scoreboard. They need to just be playing their A game as it is. Ailian and him doing a great job. Ailian in particular, swiveling, getting the headshot there, or the kill onto Spy Leader at least, doubling up under that balcony. Dreamer all of a sudden has it all to do. He is a star player for the team, but surely this would be too much to ask from in this 1-on-4 situation. And E-Frade, this is potentially another round going begging for them.
Yeah, in that previous match, Ailian, I think he got about 7 or 8 kills in the whole map, and he's exploded here. 17 kills, 5 assists, and just 8 deaths as Magic Boy ends that round, taking down Dreamer in the window room. And it will be 10 rounds going the way of SK. And yeah, it's been about Ailian and his A holding abilities. He's picked up a quad kill in one round. He's got several other kills and played a crucial round in holding off this A attack. And once again, it looks as though the bomb from E-Frag will be heading towards the A side of things with one player mid, one player B, and they're just going to... This is obviously not a force buy that we're going to be critical of, being the last round of the half. They need to get everything they possibly can, but at the moment, SK well in control of this match and also of this half, as Spy Leader does see an enemy, but won't be too keen on pushing through that smoke just yet. It's going to be the spray from Ailian, but he will get caught off guard. Oh my god, Spy Leader's run past him, but quickly does a U-turn, take him out, and Dreamer will pick up a kill as well as Victor. So a 5 versus 2 situation here now for E-Frag to close out this half 10-5.
That's right, you can see NKL doing a great job there of just being very patient, watching City spawn and taking Frisk down, and really I guess the thing that really upsets me or worries me in some regard is the fact that E-Frag will now find themselves with 5 rounds at the end of this half, despite Magist Boy's best efforts. He now has 4 left Division 10 with him, with the bomb ticking away. It will be too much to do. And from, I guess, standing back from a third-party perspective, 5 rounds on the T side probably isn't worst-case scenario. Certainly teams have made it work on the CT side with less to play with than that. I think for me, it's just a matter of we're watching E-Frag and knowing what could have been had they made some different decisions along the way. We're comparing almost the E-Frag that we saw to the E-Frag that could have been. I think in the context of 5 rounds, that's still okay, to be honest, but it could have been so much more. They could have won that half 10-5. That's what's troubling from an observer's perspective.
That's very true. If they slipped in a couple of standard eco rounds there, they would have had a lot more gun rounds to play with. Nevertheless, they could well be ecstatic with the 5-round T side, given their struggles. So we could be sitting here giving them all the grief in the world, and they might be sitting on top of their own world, just thinking to themselves, what a great effort we did to get 5 rounds, and now SK will charge in this B hall area, and Dreamer will spot one out. He gets a great headshot there and tries to tap down the second one. It won't work out for him, but Victor will pick up 1. No, 2 frags there brilliantly with his crosshair darting between the heads of the enemy players, and now it'll be Freese's turn to pick one up, and a tense 3 versus 2 is unfolding here for SK, and they're going to have to make this one work, I think, if they're going to stand a chance of winning this map. But all the pressure's coming in from E-Frag here. They're collapsing well. It's going to be Spy Leader, and it's all going to be on Modi at that bench. It's not going to be enough. E-Frag pick up the CT pistol, and we've said that they're going to be dominant on CT. We said that they've struggled on T-side with their buying, but yet they find themselves in a situation where they've won 5 rounds. Is that enough? And they win the pistol. All of a sudden, E-Frag looking on the up and up.
Well, they're right back in it, aren't they? The sense that potentially if, there's a big potential, but if they could close out these 2 rounds, that gap and that deficit does close. But let's just remind everyone at home from an E-Frag perspective, this is a must-win map. If they lose this map, their counterpick campaign is over. They cannot qualify for the LAN finals in the middle of March. So these guys know what is on the line at the moment. You can tell how much it means to these guys, and Bubble doing a good job there of connecting with the Pizza 50. Unfortunately for his sake, Freese, who did invest in armor, only lost a little bit of damage as a result, and it looks as though SK potentially setting up for a B attack.
Yeah, it's going to be all about B here for SK as they charge in, but the guns are going to be ready, willing, and waiting there for them. But Dreamer gets 1 and then gets taken out, so the force buy that works for E-Frag could turn in the favour of SK. Ailian picks up a triple! 3 kills in the space of about 2 seconds there for Ailian. Now he's in a 1 versus 1, and the SK player who did next to nothing on the first map is now on the verge of getting a quad kill and pulling his team that little bit further ahead. But it's the movements of NKL that he will be up against here. He spots him out, he gets a bink, only does 23 points of health. Not sure what that was. Must have clipped through a wall there. Ailian doing a load of damage before NKL able to turn up and save the day for E-Frag. But the potential was there for a big moment for Ailian. He almost sees that he picked up a bink, only doing 23 damage. Valve, please. Gaben, please.
It doesn't make any sense to me, but crucially, that was around potentially where SK might have bought into it. I feel like we've overdone this topic of force bind, but I mean, the context was they actually got 4 frags on the previous round, and knowing that E-Frag had invested everything that they had in the form of rifles, but SK opting to take a different route to E-Frag, and oh my god, that HE was deadly, carpet bombing the palace. Quite fittingly, and Spy Leader, deservedly so, gets those 3 frags, gets a 4th in the end, but that HE alone did 289 damage. There you go. Thank you, Gabe. I appreciate that. That's a fair amount.
It is a fair amount, considering how little grenades can do in CSGO sometimes.
289. That's up there with the most I've seen.
That's a crunching grenade there from Spy Leader, as he leads from the front, so to speak, as E-Frag will pick up their 8th round of the CT of this Mirage game, rather. And now SK will be on a full buy round here. Plenty of smokes, flashes, utility for SK, as long as those 5 AKs now. 2 Famouses on the CT side of thing, and Bubble picking up that AWP for E-Frag. Now, will that be effective? We haven't seen a lot of AWP play from Bubble tonight, so will it be effective? As Moddy is clued onto that frag, and he picks up the carpet push there from Victor, getting a little too aggressive, overextending just a little bit too far, giving his life away before he's able to contribute in any meaningful way. But SK will do what they do best and slow this one down and try and find the best possible way into one of these defenses. And it looks as though A is the place to be for SK right now. But yeah, it's going to be a bit of a mystery where they go. It looks as though the bomb's heading back to A, so they're making a correct read.
Yeah, it is in the backpack at the moment of Freeze, and he is taking it back towards that T-ramp, or pit as it's otherwise referred, but Pimp, I think they're relying on him to stay alive there in that ladder, and potentially with that late round lurk, he has been taken down with that nice counter aggression there coming out from NKL Ailian. Again, stepping up in the T-half, showing that he does have what it takes. Bubble at close range, that connects with the first, can't quite get the second yet. Oh, he's flirting with death there as he's jumping away, trying to breathe some air into those lungs and potentially get off a second shot. We now find ourselves in a 3-on-3. The bomb has been planted, and at the moment, Magist Boy has the answer as he lays down the bed of flames, and Bubble quite conveniently stands in those said flames, just as though he was asked to do so. NKL will get one frag, but looks as though potentially saving is on the agenda now with only 12 points of health.
Yeah, SK pulling out that round pretty well. They've just managed to overwhelm the A side defenses of E-Frag, but crucially that was almost a big play from Bubble there, staying alive. He's done the dash and then gone down to a Molotov late in the round that was well positioned nonetheless, but SK will pick up their 11th round. E-Frag struggling to make ends meet at the moment as Magic Boy finds an AWP, so that's a big find to give to Freeze at this point in the match.
Good call. The other thing I will note is the fact that as we see E-Frag buy this round, the fact that I think Spy Leader and one of his counterparts actually kept their FAMASs on that first round buy instead of opting to upgrade their guns into Colts means that they can now buy with some sort of safety net into this round. So you can see that they do have an AWP in the hands of Bubble. They have 4 M4A1Ss across the remaining teammates, so they will put up some sort of good resistance. You'd have to imagine Bubble, though, misses his shot, and his teammates try and support him there in mid, but potentially a chance gone beating there for E-Frag.
Yeah, Moddy just playing the patience game there in A carpet, but it will be Ailian once again for SK Gaming, the unexpected hero of this map so far, picking up yet another kill, which moves him right along to 22 kills and 5 assists for the match, leading all players by some margin at the moment. So great work there by Ailian, really coming up big for his team. And now with that early pick, it'll be E-Frag once again stuck in this 4 versus 5 situation where essentially they should be split in a 2-2 format, which they are. SK just need to regroup here. They can literally pick either bomb site and it will be a fine decision at the moment, but they just need to go together, make sure it's a very fluid hit, and they should be able to overwhelm the E-Frag defenses, but it'll be up to them to make sure they don't get picked off before this happens.
Pimp's in a really strong position here. This is the intent last round when he was lurking in that ladder room. He's there again now, so as his teammates Freeze and Magisto make their way towards T-Pit, slowly creep up. Pimp potentially with that late round lurk. Frisk does a good job there of opening up the spot. Spy Leader, retaliation is on the agenda as he gets 2 frags. NKL with a 3rd as well, so all of a sudden Frisk really needs that lurk to come in from Pimp a lot faster than perhaps he otherwise would have expected. Good job taking down Spy Leader. Victor with it all to do now in a 1-on-2.
Yeah, but a great plant there from Freeze. He gets the bomb down in a really open position there where his teammate Pimp is on full health and in a great position to clutch this round. So good intuition there from Freeze planting that bomb. Pimple grenade off the CT, and he's going to have to find his way towards the bomb, and he won't be able to find anybody, and he should just probably make his way back towards the T-stairs and save this AK, because he has no idea where either of these terrorists are, and he's quickly running out of time, and that he does. He's running away. He'll save that AK to see another day, and another great round there from SK, but crucially, as you said, Pimp performing his role to perfection that round, picking up those late trade frags, opening up the site fully for SK after a good start, and that's 12-8. Some resistance put up there by Spy Leader, but ultimately great round there from SK.
I think the key thing to note as well with Pimp's positioning is the fact that SK, using their utility and their, I guess, force when they move those members to mid, are actually doing a great job of actually gaining that map territory without necessarily putting themselves in too much danger. Taking ladder room is quite difficult, but E-Frag buying on the CT round, forcing the issue here on the CT half pip. No idea what's happening. Of course, the story of the night here on this map. Victor gets one, but Lord help me if I can understand the money management. I think E-Frame potentially need a lesson in a university course in economics, because they are struggling big time at the moment to understand that 1 + 1 sometimes equals 2.
I mean, I almost feel as though we shouldn't be commenting on it anymore, because it's clearly just their tactic. It's not a problem that they're not aware of. They're not doing it by accident. They're really forcefully buying every single round to try and stimulate their own economy and get something going and give themselves a chance to win every single round. It's just that I think when you do the breakdown of the rounds they're successful, if you look at all the data, it's going to be very heavily in the favor of well-bought gun rounds that they're able to execute and play their strategy properly, as opposed to this force round, because now they've got $0 in the bank. SK are on 13 rounds now, and they're going to have to potentially go 2 more rounds before they're right again with their money. So not 100% on that one for E-Frag once again.
Yeah, that's right. I think we've hit home on that issue probably one too many times, but in any case, I think it's perhaps a topic of discussion for another day for E-Frag, perhaps some internal discussions within the team. I'm not sure if potentially if it is a deliberate decision as opposed to an accident, if that's better or worse. I almost tend to think that that is worse in that regard. Like you said, we do see E-Frag opting to eco this round. They do have 4 P250s and a 5.7, but more crucially and more importantly, I should say for me, is that E-Frag are running out of rounds now. We said that their title hopes here in Counterpit rested on the fact that they must win Mirage. Well, they now find themselves 13-8 down, potentially looking down the barrel of a 14-8 scoreline as SK swarm onto the B side.
Yeah, it's going to be on the bubble here to try and open it up, but he can't do that one. Pim taking him down relatively easily. It will be a pistol here from NKL forcing, and Victor picking up one as well. So he's picked up an AK, and this could be a very deadly pickup here, but he's taken down by a grenade from Freeze, but not before Spy Leader chimes in once again. And this is a 2 versus 2. This is a must-win for E-Frag. If they can muster this round, it's going to justify all of their force buying once again, and Spy Leader does get that bomb down, and it will be Dreamer penciling that P250 onto the head of Freeze, and Freeze will get one, but be spotted out by Dreamer. They've won another eco. But look, but the dumbest part, and I will use the word dumb, and I don't use that word lightly, is that was a proper eco. They didn't force buy that one. They only had pistols and no armor, so that was a technically correct decision that's come out with them winning a round. So it's inexplainable. It's just not. I'm just out of words at the moment for what E-Frag are able to make work. It's just crazy.
Well, I mean, in the context, though, I mean, if there was any time for an eco round to come up trumps for them, it was certainly that. I mean, we said they were looking down the barrel of a massive deficit. Their Counterpit aspirations riding on this match, and they're now well back in it. You can see that they do have 4 rifles and a sniper rifle to boot at the moment in the hands of Bubble. They are opting for quite a conventional, almost 2-1-2 setup on the CT side, and from the SK perspective, showing a lot of respect at the moment, I think, for Bubble in that mid window. Almost Freeze and Pimp scared to pick mid as Victor actually spams one in the form of Magist Boy into the kitchen there. So caught napping by the fridge, he takes, I guess, the ultimate plunge there as he goes down, and all of a sudden E-Frag had that opening that they were after.
E-Frag have opened one up and will be through the wall, but Ailian once again, the dominant force on this T side and on the CT side. He picks up a double before Dream is able to trade onto that one. And now Pimp will pick up Dreamer, and this is all going downhill pretty quickly as Ailian picks up a third. Another huge round for him, and he's gone beast mode. And I mean, do I even need to ask what's going to happen here for E-Frag? Or do I even? Yep, here it comes. Yep, just had to wait. I had to wait 9 seconds, and I had my answer. They've force bought onto this one. And it will be the final throw of the dice here for eFrag. They must win this round.
For the love of God, at least if you're buying, please give that rifle to Dreamer, your best player. Please, as it is, Bubble gets the frag anyway, and Spy Leader goes down. And at the moment, the CT's actually pushing with a lot more aggression and intent than we haven't seen from them in the past. And I think it almost took Boy a second to react to what he was seeing. He does get the drop onto Dreamer there, but knows there's a second, and Victor still gets the frag. So as Bubble gets his second for the round, they're making this work again. And there's just no justice in the world sometimes.
I don't know. We're out of options. We should just be quiet and let this game unfold by itself. And just let the kill feed do the talking, because eFrag are defying all CS logic at the moment. Buying when they shouldn't, then buying when they should, winning rounds, losing rounds. It's just such a back and forth affair at the moment. But SK aren't out of this at all, because they have Ailian and Modi alive.
Look at the position though of Ailian that you told of. He's actually in CT spawn, and turn around Ailian, who was more concerned about checkers than potentially the A-Ram in that instance, and probably understandably so. It's much more common for a CT to be rotating back through checkers to support A than necessarily a CT running or at least walking down those ticket stairs as it was. And whilst he does go down, it leaves it all up to Mod in this instance in a 1-on-3, and he slowly makes his way out. Palace here and does spot out Bubble, but doesn't quite convert it. Bubble, the quad frag. We said that he should give that gun to Dreamer. Maybe after getting 4 frags. Now he can give it to Dreamer.
Now he can give it to Dreamer, but SK is still in a position to get a decent buy here if they want to as well. But conventional wisdom will follow SK, and they'll just force a little bit of utility here. Just a couple of flashes of smoke and a scout on Pimp, who had quite a large amount of cash here. So they'll opt to do a hybrid buy, I guess you'd call it here, with just a flash, a couple of pistols and a scout. But generally speaking, they've opted for the eco round here, and eFrag will have much more control over the outcome of this round than they would have normally, as Modi gets burnt alive by Bubbles Molotov. SK is just going to play the waiting game here, take this one nice and slow, and see if Pimp can't get something going in terms of the scout. But Spy Leader's onto that frag there, Freeze getting taken down, and Ailian fighting the good fight there, but I don't think he's going to do a whole lot of damage there as Dreamer flanks his way around and gets the bomb down. So this should be the 11th round coming out here for eFrag, which it certainly will be, as Spy Leader spots them both out, takes them down. 11-14. SK is still leading, but they should be able to get a buy in here. Ailian probably will be able to drop an AK there for Modi, I should think. Yep, there it goes. It comes out. Full buy here for SK, and a lot of pressure still here on eFrag.
From the gun round so far from SJ, so far we've seen very much a similar strategy adopted every round where they go for that split approach. We actually see 2 members at the top of mid, one in the B horse, one going on a pass, and one just watching for the A lurk, but it hasn't paid off for them this time. There's that aggression from the CTs. Victor there getting the drop onto Frisk, so one of the danger men is down for SK. They certainly have many other strong players in the team, no doubt. They can still get that fragging done in this round, but they'll have to make do with 4 players. They have 4 of their own as well, so it looks as though SJ potentially setting up for a few set executes as Pimp lobs a grenade, throws it into that A site, well placed no doubt. And it looks as though Boy now rotating back to A, almost confirming that story that we suspected that it would be an A hit.
Ailian still in full swing there as he picks up Spy Leader, both danger men, but Modi will spot out NKL, and the headshot comes in. It's going to be all on Bubble here to try and defend the A bomb site. He's left all by himself as Dreamer still at B, is yet to rotate, but here he comes. Once again, Pimp, though, has found his way into mid-con and will bust out there with the bomb, taking down Bubble, and it's all going to be left up to one member of the CT team. He doesn't get the kill he needs. Dreamer gets taken down by Pimp. SK move right along to 15 rounds, game point. It will be eFrag obviously buying up here as we just fast forward a little bit due to some GoTV lag, but SK in full swing here, 5 rifles, and the contributions of Ailian cannot be labelled enough here. 27 kills and 8 assists in a crucial match here, and Pimp takes down Dreamer, so SK looking to close this one out as they get ahead 5 players to 4 in this equation. It should be 5 players to 3, it is. Freeze picks up Victor, so it's all starting to snowball downhill here for eFrag. They've put up such resistance for so many rounds, making awkward situation after awkward situation work for them, but has time run out for eFrag and their Croatian campaign as SK tighten the net around eFrag.
Well, SK, like you said, they're moving towards the B halls at the moment. You actually have 4 members there. Pimp third in the way of the, I think by virtue of the fact that he's quite low on HP, opting to take that support role as they now make their way in. A lot of pressure here on Bubble Shoulders. He's caught in the rotation. Spy Leader it is, who's jumped out of checkers, but he has it all to do. Gets a double there. He's third for the round, ultimately taken down by Friesen. It's all left up to NKL now in a 1-on-2. He's on the flank, but crucially, he's actually made a few footsteps there. I'm not sure if potentially Friesen might have heard that. I don't think he is, given the fact that taking a little bit of time now to focus their attention. Now, having said that, both the SK members watching up towards the B hill, so NKL needs to find some magic here for his team. He has a 1-on-2 to contend with. TP's team's chances alive of getting this map win on the board. He moves his way out, pal, spots out Modi there. Not suspecting Freeze though at close range. He is taken down. SK do win this map. Their map choice Mirage 16-11. They draw the series 1-all, and crucially that signals the end of eFrag's campaign here in Canopy. They played 4 matches. They've come away with 4 draws. And ultimately, it almost seems as though eFrag beat eFrag in the end here.